Now in this video, we're going to take a quick look at the new features that are part of InterChange 3.4. We'll look at the new multilingual content support in the AppManager and the InterChange framework, the new delete functionality that's been added to the content apps, the convenient links that appear in the content apps to get quick access to their associated SharePoint list, some enhancements to the widget manager which allow you to add views directly within the widget manager itself, the new user data sync option to go from the SharePoint profile service, in addition to the option that already existed to sync to Azure AD, and finally, the new multiple admin and reporting groups capability that's been added to the global settings. So let's get started. The major new feature introduced in the 3.4 release is support for multilingual content in both the InterChange App Manager and the InterChange framework to support intranet sites that are multilingual. Now, multilingual support is a separate feature available for the InterChange App Manager. In the InterChange App Manager, multilingual support consists of a language manager management app, which provides the ability to add and configure your desired languages from a list of 205 IETF language country code designations, the ability to set the fallback language behavior, and also control what languages are visible or available on your front-end intranet site. A new content language selector in the InterChange App Manager controls the currently active language in the App Manager for content editing and widget instance creation. Also included are enhancements to the content apps, which allow for easy creation of the language versions for a content item. Simply clicking on the Create Language Versions button creates other language versions for that content item. Easy switching between the language versions of a content item, and a new compare mode which allows two language versions of content to be shown side by side to help with creating or verifying translations and identifying any differences between the language versions. There are also enhancements to the widget management functionality which support language-specific widget instances to be created, meaning that the functionality and behavior of an InterChange widget can be language dependent. And finally, a unique new token system which allows the static content on the site, such as the labels and system messages, to be automatically replaced during page render with the appropriate language terms. Now, for more information on the InterChange multilingual solution, please see the complete detailed video tutorial available on the Akumina Resource Center at the following link. A new delete function has been added to the content apps in App Manager, which allows content editors to delete items from directly within the InterChange App Manager. The delete button appears in the author, slider, and file app types. It's not needed in the Quick Links app type, as there is already a delete function there to remove nodes in the Quick Links tree. Now, the availability of the delete function can be controlled in each content app individually. Let me access the content app settings for my company events content app, which is an example of the author app type. Now, my company events content app is actually mapped to the important dates list. So here's my company events app settings. Now there's actually a new setting called hide delete, which is down at the bottom. By default, when a new app is created, this is set to on, which will hide the delete button in the app by default. By setting this to off, the delete button will be displayed in the current content app. So I'm going to set this to off, save and exit, and then access my company events content app. Now, with an author type of app such as this, the delete button actually appears within the individual items. So I'm going to open up this item here, which I've set up to be able to delete. And there at the top of the item, you'll see the delete button, So the delete button in each one of the items will appear in this content app that's been set up to enable delete. Now when I hit the delete button, and any time that I choose to delete a piece of content or an item, I will get prompted to make sure that I really want to delete this item. Now deleting the item permanently removes the item from the content app. So content editors should be aware, and that's why we prompt them that the deletion will be permanent. So in the case of a content app that's an author type, when I click the OK button, it's going to delete the content item and then bring me back to the list of items for this content app. And as you can see, the item I deleted no longer appears in the list. Now the delete button works slightly different in the slider app type. Let me access the FAQ content app, which uses the slider app type. In this case, the delete button appears on each one of the items in the slider. Now to delete a slide, I simply click on its delete button. Once again, I get prompted because I'm deleting an item. In this way, when I'm done with an item, I have the choice of either moving it to the inactive area or deleting it completely from the list of items within the slider app. And since I'm in a content app, let me point out one other new feature. Only for users who are designated with admin rights in the App Manager settings, a new item will be displayed in each content app, which lists the name of the SharePoint list that the content app is connected with. In this case, the SharePoint list called FAQ_AK. Now clicking on this name will open a new window to display the SharePoint list. Now this feature was requested by many of our admin users to help in the initial setup of the system, as well as to easily access a related list for times when they may need to perform a SharePoint action, such as recovering an item that was incorrectly deleted by a content editor, perhaps. The Widget Manager has a new enhancement which allows new views to be uploaded and added to a widget directly in the Widget Manager without having to separately add the view in the View Manager app first. Now to demonstrate this, I'm going to add a new view to my company events widget that's on the home page of my sample site. Now that actually uses the important dates base widget. So I'm going to access the Widget Manager and then the important dates base widget to add the new view that I want to use. Now if I access the views section, I can add a new view, and I'm going to call this new view the column view. And then I'm actually going to choose the HTML template that I want to use for this view. Now, as I said, I haven't uploaded the HTML template to the system yet, and something that I would normally have to go to the View Manager first and upload it and then come back to the Widget Manager, I can now do all within the Widget Manager itself. So I choose the Important Dates folder. I upload the view. Now I'm going to choose the file that has the HTML template, which I have here. It's called upcoming.html. And I will go ahead and upload right from within the Widget Manager that new HTML template. Now that the template is uploaded into the system, I can access it, select it for my view here, upcoming.html, and that will map it to my new view that I've just added to the widget. Now if I go ahead and save and exit, I actually want to add this view so I can use it on the home page for my company events instance. So all I need to do is go to my important dates, view the instances, access my home page important dates, enable the view that I just added for this widget, save and exit, and then when I go to my home page and edit the widget itself, I will see the new view is available. Select that view. I know that this view only supports 4 items, and then update. And just that quickly, I was able to add a new view directly in the Widget Manager and make it available for use on my front-end intranet site. When it comes to being able to sync user data for directories or other uses into the system, our PeopleSync application has been enhanced to not only support data from Azure Active Directory, but also to be able to import user data from the SharePoint Profiles service as well. Now this change gives you a choice as to where you want to pull and synchronize your user data from. In previous versions of the App Manager, only one group was allowed for selection in the Admin and Reporting Group fields within the global settings for each site. Now new with this version is the ability to specify multiple admin and/or reporting groups, adding flexibility and better supporting your options for how you structure your governance using permission groups.